When you drill down to the basics, elections are won on two things, the vibes and the fundamentals. So we have a guy to talk about them both. Our friend Cliff Young is the president of polling at Ipsos. He's back up late with me on the Final Five to talk about this and more. Welcome back.
It's great to be here.
The vibes, it's all about what people feel. It's not necessarily what's based in truth and based in reality. It's just how they feel.
It's all about the energy.
Yeah.
It's all about the mobilization of the base, and that is Harris right now.
We have, I don't think we've gotten a full look at the numbers from the last time you were in here, because obviously this race has changed dramatically. This right now is the polling averages, and just what are we seeing here?
Yeah, this is just a trend over the last bit of the year, right? Mm-hmm. This is the aggregate of all the polls, not just Ipsos. And what we're looking at is basically Harris jumping after she entered and Biden left. These are the vibes, right? Because there's nothing else but that energy that has propelled her. And this is sort of where we are at the national level. We're basically at 2 points advantage to Harris, and that's, like I said, is a function of enthusiasm.
With the gulf between these two, it really illustrates the lack of, or really the massive number of undecideds we've seen that may be taking shape at this point in the race.
Yeah, we're starting to lose them a bit, right? People are beginning to sort of either decide who they're going to vote for or decide not to vote. Here we see actually after the debate, you know, the gulf between Trump and Biden only grows.
So this was the debate right about here?
Exactly.
Okay. So we can talk about the national numbers all we want, but in the end, it's only going to come down to a couple of states.
Yeah, a few states. We have 4. They're typically 6 swing states, but here we're looking at Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, and Wisconsin. There's also Pennsylvania, and also Pennsylvania, many times Nevada. And yeah, we just wanted to show the same thing for the most part here, that after Biden pulls out, there's this jump in the polls for Harris. Some states she does better, some states she does worse, but in all of them she improves.
It looks like, yeah, Michigan and Wisconsin, because it's that blue wall that Democrats enjoyed up until 2016, where if you win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, you stand a pretty good chance of winning the election.
Yeah, exactly. Before Biden stepped out, we basically said the Democrats had to win those 3 states.
Yeah.
Right now, the map is opened a bit. We don't know how long that will last, but it looks like Harris has more options.
You know, and it, just not to say anything that we're talking about here today, but in Arizona, I mean, you have these national or these Senate races as well that we may see one result on the state level for president, but another on the Senate level based on whoever's running in those races. All right, let's move on to who's going to vote out there.
Yeah, and here, once again, we want to reinforce the vibes again, and let's just focus on the Democrats especially. June compared to August or now, we basically see a huge spike in Democratic enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. This is, once again, is Biden stepping down and Harris stepping in.
I like this, too, because you're also seeing an uptick on the Republican side as well, as if that motivated Trump voters as well.
Yeah, you also have a shoring up because we're getting closer to Election Day, and people are beginning to pay more attention.
Okay, so in terms of issues right now, there are some people are saying it's about the economy, some people are saying it's about immigration. I mean, there are a lot of things out there, but what's on people's minds?
There's a whole smorgasbord, right? No, but it's really about inflation, both at the national level as well at the swing state level. Look at that. That's #1 by far. The second place issue is immigration. We're hearing it all over the place,
sure,
right? And lastly, we're you know, in third place, we're hearing a lot about political extremism and polarization.
I'll tell you what interests me on this as you look at this, and abortion, which Democrats were really banking on being a pivotal issue, and for some people it really will be. It's at 13%. It's not this huge monolithic issue that I think a lot of Democrats were banking on it being.
Well, it's not the #1 issue, right? But it is a mobilizer. And in many cases, when people say they want to protect democracy, they're worried about polarization, they're really talking about abortion.
Yeah.
Once again, it reinforces Harris's credibility because she's strong on it, and it might mean a ½ point in these swing states, and that means a lot.
That's all that matters. And in terms of those swing states, some of the issues that are motivating them.
Once again, #1 issue is the economy and inflation, and who wins on that? It's basically Trump. Look at that, 42% versus Harris's 35. She bit into the lead. She was able to, you know, narrow the lead a bit. It was about 14 points with Biden. This is the issue in my opinion. Obviously, we had the debate coming up, and I'm really looking at that. Yeah, to what extent she can make the case for inflation versus Trump.
So under health care, would you figure women's right issues, abortion into that, or is that about access to health care?
Yeah, this is access to health care. We don't have abortion here specifically because it wasn't one of the top issues. Yeah, but ultimately, it's all about the economy, the economy, and the economy.
And what's fascinating about this number is we've had election cycles, 92 with Clinton and Bush, national health care. We had it with Obama, and it's still a topic we're talking about as a country right now, about access to health care.
It's still a huge issue. It's very expensive for people.
All right, there's been a word that's been, it's entered the lexicon in a political sense, weird. Tim Walz was the one who really, I think, got onto the national conscience because he started saying Republicans are weird.
They're weird. Usually it's Trump that can paint his opponents in a negative way.
Yeah.
The Democrats, as both Harris and Walz, have done a really good job, efficient job in painting Trump as ultimately weird. Look at that. 25% think Kamala is weird. 39% think that Trump is weird. And look at the number of Democrats, 81% that think of Trump as weird. It's a motivating factor. And once again, the other point about the debate tomorrow, the debate's really important in really defining, I believe, the outcome. And I'm really looking at whether Harris can weather the storm.
Okay.
And can she take sort of a beating on these sort of ad hominem attacks? And to what extent can she punch back in that give and go in the debate?
On the end there, you talk about the independents, and this is crucial. In a lot of these states, a lot of these swing states, you have people who don't want to associate themselves with either political party, and in this case, Trump has the edge.
Yeah, well here,
Trump is the edge of who's viewed as weird.
The edge of the negative, which is weird. Also among independents, all about inflation, inflation, inflation. That's why the Harris campaign is really focused on that. The Trump campaign hasn't to date.
I'll tell you what, I think in the end, we're all a little weird in some way, shape, or form. I think that's, that's how we get our quirks in life.
It's not always a bad thing.
It's not always a bad thing. How quickly after the debate tomorrow are we going to start seeing some numbers about how people
I think the next day and that weekend, we're going to see a whole slew of polls. We'll actually have 2 coming out. I think, middle of next week we'll know to what extent was she able to hold her lead or not.
All right, Cliff Young from Ipsos. Good to see you again, man. Thanks for coming in. Always appreciate it. Final Five is back after this.